Hey guys. Mm-mm-mm. Wait for Tommy to click on.
Hi. Oh my god.
Hey.
Because I'm
Why are
like,
you
I
laughing?
literally look like I just woke up. I kind of did. Hey, look, we kind of are wearing the same color.
Well, we are wearing the same color. I like my theme is all,
Good morning, Facebook
so
world.
I know. Good morning. We're finally.
Before we are getting
Sorry,
on right
that's
now,
my
my stomach is so bothering me. So I wonder either somebody who's going to come on today. Yeah, like right before I was clicked on, or maybe like who's ever going to be in this sphere. Feeling this.
Or
Yeah.
walk after. That's
Okay, let's jump right in because I know we only have like a little bit of time. Yes.
Yep, because I've got calls after this. So last week we talked about dreams and I don't remember what else. It felt like forever ago, if we're being honest. I mean, like I'm like, damn. And then what does
Yeah,
that end off
so
as?
it came in towards the end, and it's funny because like the last couple days, it's been like ding ding again, but of why either. So I was more thinking of like friendships leaving a life, but it could be relationships. You brought up jobs. It really could be anything of like why they leave our life, and yeah. Sometimes we're sitting there, especially when it first happens. I'm like, there's like so much coming in my head right now. Like when it first happens, you're thinking like, what the heck? But then when you really start to break it down and feel into it, is it really what the heck? Like, did you really like, I mean, there's so much we can talk about with this, but yeah.
Well, and especially after having 2020 and
Splits,
so many
yeah.
polarities. So, and I think it is good to understand that people come in, jobs come in and out of your life. And because we're humans and we get emotionally attached to people, things, jobs, places, change can be hard.
Yeah.
Change can
I
be
was just
hard.
going to say, so,
Go ahead.
yeah, and understanding why. I think, well, for one, change can be hard, but what, like, how do I want to say this? It's almost like they'll leave when they have to leave and you don't honestly feel ready for it. Right? But when you look back after all of it, it's like, oh, that actually was the most perfect time, right? Of why they left or lessons that are there. And if you're not seeing all the lessons, there, that's another indicator of, okay, maybe you should sit with this, right? Or like even like meet with somebody to go through like what was it? Like why did they leave?
Well, and a number of things. Sometimes, speaking of change, people don't want that change. So they hit a state of resistance. And then universe, God, source removes them out of your life for a reason. And then you're devastated. I'm talking about, my husband's job. Like he was so upset about leaving banking. Well, then we purchased a business. So like hindsight 2020, like he's like, it was the best decision because he would have never moved and he was miserable. So sometimes God has to kick things out of your life and shut the door on things. But then people are asking and going over the why. What did I do wrong?
They're showing me like standing at a closed door, right? And that's how, like with your husband's job. So with me, mine was with a really, really intimate like friendship for a very, very long time that completely fell apart. And talk about, why? And I mean, there's so much. We don't have, maybe one day I'll do a video of the whole thing. but to your point, because you said something of like we don't want it and we resist it for so much. I mean, honestly, I resisted mine for years. I resisted it for years. That's what I'm saying. When you look back, it's like I knew, but there was so much stuff I didn't want to look at. And this was in 2018 that it actually was like severed. And even just a few weeks ago, I got another message that just even confirming, because still pieces of it come up, you know, of something that's so intimate or something that's so close to you, that it's like we had to remove them out because you were not listening to yourself. Like you literally were not listening. You knew it, and we had to move them out because they were like no good for you.
You know,
Oh wait, you're back. Okay. Yeah, here we go. Yes.
I'm like, you call me I'm going live. Seriously. Um, so uh getting back on that. And then it's trusting the universe. We have a misperception that we think we always know what's good for us. No, we don't. No, we don't. We may have an inclination or whatever that word is, or an idea or a feeling. When we are here to learn and experience. So if a relationship, a job, a person comes into our life and then exits, what is that relationship, job, person, situation teaching you? Evaluate the lesson that you learned, give gratitude to it, and let it go. But this is why everybody, it seems like when they come to me, and probably for you too with your coaching sessions, is they seem to be in, and I'm guilty, calling the kettle black, but when they're rat race
You
and they're
can't let
on the
go.
hamster
You can't
wheel
let
and they
go.
can't
That's the
jump.
thing. And I think that's the point that I wanted to bring up too, that yeah, this was in 2018. And am I in a completely different space? Yes, right? But even here we were just a few weeks ago, it came, like pieces of it came up. Now, does it make me cry anymore? No. Do I get that feeling in my body anymore? No, because I work through a lot of that, but it's the letting go that's super hard that people cannot do.
And spirit's saying, how do I identify, and how do I make the transition? How do I let it go? What are the steps that we need to take? So let's maybe give some helping tools, tips on, hey Marie, on how do you, when you know that something, it's time for a transition, there is a mourning period, a grief period. That's extremely important. If you try to bypass or skip that piece, it will come up again
100%.
and slap you in the face. So you have to grieve the relationship, the job, the change, more than that. And then the next piece is, I feel like I'm jumping ahead with this. Let's identify and evaluate what lessons did I learn, because I think it's important as we move through our transition in life and we move through. I was talking to somebody today, and they were talking about, that's weird. You commented, but I can't see it. They were evaluating their past. Slow down. It brings a deeper closure when you can look back on it, and you can come through from a different space. My phone is jacking. Sorry, guys. When you can come from a different space and see, like, you know what? I have grown so much. I looked at this situation and I made a move that I trusted, and I went into it blindsided, which you didn't. But you trusted yourself in the next move. So
no, you're right. And I want to say, when you said you feel like you're jumping ahead, I'm just going to keep using my experience for this, because just for what we're talking about. So when the initial, it wasn't even a fight, but like when it happened, it was, I mean, you want to talk about the lessons in it. I didn't really extract out or really understand, because I'm going to tell you, for months, I didn't talk about it to anybody. And I'm in these spaces, and there's a reason, and now I look back, there's a reason why I didn't, because I really was processing, but I wish I would have spoken about it much sooner than I did. Like even with Tawnya, we were in a different place then. But but it wasn't until, I want to say, probably 6 months later, that I really started to extract the lessons. And honestly, like a piece of acceptance. That's what I keep hearing. Like there was a piece of acceptance and forgiveness of myself. I mean, there's so many things when you say, but I think the first part, like you said, is grieving it. And that's the other thing too, which maybe this is a conversation for another day, but like like the grief of losing a friendship, people expected, if you will, right, of like losing a love relationship, but a friendship, like we don't talk about the friendship breakups, right? But it's that really grieving it and like letting all that. And maybe that's actually what I was doing those first couple months. I actually think I was trying to ignore it too, but that's okay. It's different.
Right? The faster Spirit's coming in and saying, you know, the faster you can, faster meaning, look at, identify the lessons, gratitude, the slowly you can move. You know, we are constantly, in a state of evolving, transforming, changing, growing. So how to make that transition easier throughout your life, no matter how old you are, go back, evaluate. Hey, you know what? This was fun. I enjoyed pieces of a friendship that gave me this and this and this. I enjoyed the relationship. You know, I looked at the aspects where maybe I could have chosen a different reaction here, because then when you do that, you can take it
That's
and keep
100%.
moving and keep going. And I think can be challenging for people who have never moved out of their city, have never moved out of their circles, to grow out of that, because they're used to comfort. When we move, and we're all, hello, we are human, we need some sort of comfort, and
even if it doesn't feel good, right? So we know it. We know that, you know, regardless of what this is and what to expect versus not.
So nobody really likes to move out of their comfort zone. So this is when it's so important to have a regimen every day that you do, getting to know yourself. Because when you are so deep in love, self-love, and who you are, change, even though externally maybe rough, you can always come back to your center on who you are and say, I'm comfortable in my skin. This is the core foundation of root healing. This is the core foundation of all building a solid foundation with who we are, so our outer reflects that. We get attached as humans to our spouse, our partner, our children. Lord knows I'm speaking about this. I've got teenagers that are about to transition into college years very soon, and I am anticipating and preparing myself. So we have that. Say it again. It's important to reside within us, to feel that cozy, that comfort. So when sometimes we feel lost within the world, and lost within our relationships, and lost within change and growth, we can come from a place within and regain our comfort.
And in doing that, I feel, again, I'll just speak about mine, but I feel like I was already on that trajectory really hard from the end of 2017 into 2018, and them falling off is because I don't want to say changing. I mean, I was changing. I still am me, but I really was coming home to me. I really was having that sense of like, oh, yep. But I still didn't want to let go, even though I knew. And I saw things I didn't want to believe them. Yeah.
Yeah. I think that's also another challenging point, is believing that maybe somebody you cared about, loved about, didn't have
your best interest and
intention.
Like it's getting me right here. Like even still makes me emotional. I think it makes me more emotional for that feeling, because I know it so well, and it's in so many people. Not so much I'm feeling it for me right now, but it's like when you love somebody and you're coming at them with such a genuine, and I say genuine, we mess up as humans, like you were saying. Like I made mistakes also in this relationship, but like I was genuinely there and pure and loving. And when you find out things that it was not the same, that is devastating. Deceit. Yeah, it's devastating.
Right. When you have deception and that coworkers, all sorts of stuff, when you find that somebody maybe had gone about your back, and then you come at this and go, wow, like I really thought you had the best interest, how do,
because
let's
I couldn't
ask
wrap my
spirit,
brain
like,
around it.
how
I mean, you
do
know,
we,
Tawnya, right? Like when I finally did share it with you and all the things, it was much easier for you to see my legs went off on the outside more, right? But like I couldn't wrap my brain
it,
around it because I I like couldn't believe that.
this, this is a trick that I use that spirit's using. And this one is so saying it's teachings. You have to emotionally take yourself out of the situation and understand that, or bring a knowledge to that they are at their own understanding, their own level, that they're at their maturity state. So, and it's like, okay, that's where they're at. And their actions is not a reflection of me, it's a reflection of them. So understanding that they are coming from a place of, they have been deceived, deception, a place of anger, a place of hurt that they still have not healed. And I teach this in my classes, that you pull yourself out of and say, wow, you know, you hurt me, but I understand why you did what you did, but I'm choosing exactly their level of perception. Exactly, Marie. But I'm choosing to remove myself from the situation, from this relationship, because we no longer exactly level of perception. We no longer understand that. I no longer give it to me again. This is interesting. Put myself on your journey of healing because I decided to choose a different journey.
And that's really, it's hard, especially when it's perception of like, I'll say for me, my perception is that they were like more evolved than me, right? Because they started out as a teacher of mine, you know, like
why I find, and I'm going to say this, and this may piss a lot of teachers and people off. This is why I use the word, you know, mentor, and teacher. And it does. You have because we've been taught, oh well, the teacher's above me. Well, guess what? We're all students, so we're all learning, and that's where I always, we're on all even playing ground level. And you know, and it's funny because the word evil came out where it feels like it's this, like I'm better than that doesn't sit. That's why I've said, like in all my classes, anybody who's ever taken a class with me said this, I'm learning just as you are. I may be the facilitator, but I'm just the channel where anything comes in, which I think next week we need to talk about channeling, because I'm going to do a video and I want to talk about channeling. So I want people to understand about channeling. We're going to talk about next week. So stay tuned to next week. We're going to talk about channeling. But that's why I think it's important, because there has been such a great divide that has happened within our world of comparing. I'm comparing you, you're comparing me. I have a tendency to do this with people that I feel are, you know, smarter than me. So I'm like, oh man, I wish I knew. So we all have this, but I think it's important for us to, hey Amanda, to exactly oneness. And that's why that we've had oneness in this title, because we're all equal in oneness. And that's what we're moving to. We are like God and God is like us, and he is unconditional love. Therefore we move to unconditional love. We are unconditional love. So then when you start saying, oh well, then this and this and master guru this, then it's all of a sudden it's like this playing field. Well, that's not equality, that's not harmony, that's not oneness. So talking about
and I'm trying to say, there was also some, like, it's come in a couple of times, so I'll say it. So when I was also, this is a tool, so I would like send her off in a heart bubble, right? Like send her off in a heart bubble, and it would always come back, and it would always come back, and it always come back. And so I sat saying, what is it? What do I need to learn? What do I still need to extract? What do I need to learn? Why does this keep coming back? Why does this keep coming back? And I'm not even sure like how I got there, but you know how we'll talk about these like energetic cords and stuff with each other. And while I was giving so much gratitude and love to her in the situation, even though it was like very painful and all of that, I was still not feeling the same coming into me, right? And so we talk about like severing the cords. I severed the cords, and I didn't know what to do with my gratitude and my love because I still feel that for her, right? And so I started to send it up. I sent it up to my higher self, and I was like, higher self, will you just do with this what you will? Like, give it to her, give it. But I have severed my cord, and I'll tell you that, like, I actually felt the difference when I stopped, because it was an open channel between both of us, and I wasn't getting the purity back. And I took responsibility for all of my parts of it. This is not it, but I was trying to work through this, and I felt muddied. Yeah. And I felt muddied. And so that's just another tip, I guess, I want to give, because I really severed that. And anything I had, or when a situation, because she was such a vital part of my life, it was just around, I would laugh or give gratitude or whatever, and I would send my feelings up, and send my love up, and send my gratitude up. And that worked for me.
Exactly. I love that, Marie. I got them on my phone, so it's like super little. I'm like, sure. Yes. Sorry, I'm scanning to be like, anything else they want me to bring. It's like all the data here in front, bringing it in. What's time check?
We have like 7
I got a
minutes.
mediumship reading after this. Okay.
Yeah.
Until 10:30. Okay.
Does anybody have a question or want to bring up? I know. Oh, wow. Well, Tanya's scanning spirit.
Yeah, I'm scanning to see. We're definitely, stay tuned to next week, because we're going to talk about channeling and understanding what channeling means, and that we are all channelers of the divine. So we're going to talk about that. Anybody have anything else? Because I'm getting pulled somewhere else.
Ratios? Okay.
I don't know where we're going out here. I'm like, we're going over here. Participation. Engagement.
I feel like you're talking about business. What's happening here?
So I'm going to spirit business. So the way, for some reason, love channeling, yes. We're gonna, you talked about gratitude, and they're talking about participation. We're gonna end on this note here.
Oh, my earth side and spirit side. Really quick for me. So my earth side is my left side, and my spirit side is my right side. And for Tawnya, I'll just speak. Her earth side is her right side, and her spirit side is her left side. It took me sitting right in the courses and stuff that I've done with Tawnya, and I doubted it. And I think it's like, it's probably spirit's joke that it was so opposite, because she would talk about certain things and I'd be like, I'm actually not feeling that at all. This is actually what I'm feeling. So talk about self-trust and where it sits. But to me, it's my earth side. And you guys might hear me say my leg goes off or my leg is going off. It's like my magic leg, and it's my spirit leg. And so if I'm onto something, or if what I'm saying is a truth to like hit, or on the right track, or sometimes it's confirmation that if I see something and I say it, like right now, it just buzz, like it'll like tingle. It's the only way I could say. So when I say my leg is going off, that's what I mean. It's just like a bzz, bzz, kind of like when you get the chills, that's what it feels like, but it's not a full, it's a full leg going off at the same time. It's not like a rolling, and it doesn't like last very long. It's just like a signal system. That's my main one. I have a couple other ones, but is that a little bit more clear? Okay. If you have any more questions, you can DM me. Okay, you were saying, Tawnya.
When you were talking about the heart bubble and sending energy, and they were talking about engagement. So this is what they're talking about. And because I kept hearing the word engagement, engagement, engagement. And I like when you guys, Marie, Amanda, you guys, thank you for your comments, Lisa, because we're engaging here. So when it's the same level of consciousness, when you engage your energy, your emotions, I feel like we're shifting. I don't know why, but talking about healing relationships, talking about transitions. So when you give a higher level of understanding and you engage your energy, your heart, your soul into that vibration, into the relationship, into the energy imprint. So remembering what had happened when you engage your energy in that. And it's funny, this came up in my mediumship reading yesterday. It's like, we have to probably talk about
this is such a vital
where
point.
this
Yeah.
is going.
Okay, this is so good.
So when you send out, so you talk about the situation, and if you've watched my shows for a while, I've talked about this a few years ago. Talk about the situation, any trauma response, okay, any past thing that you talk about, and your memory of it may be negative. We learn about this in level 2, talking about parts of the brain. So we have a response to it. Well, if you go in there and digest, like Tommy was talking about, gratitude, love to the situation, what it does is you have an energy imprint. So you have your energy, and it's a bad taste. I want to say that it's a bad taste in your mouth. Well, you take your gratitude, your love, and you imprint it, put it over the situation. If you've ever talked about the energetic magnetic field, what you're doing is imprinting gratitude, love, the highest vibration, and you're putting it over like a blanket. So what that does is ripple effect out to your past. So it's important when you engage your higher level of consciousness, love and unconditional love to any situation that's in your past of trauma, it does a rippling effect with energy, and it helps soothe, because what it does is absorb love and unconditioned, and what you're doing is repatterning, re-energetic aligning your past to a higher vibration of consciousness.
Yeah.
If you're with me, saying, yeah. Okay. So that's how people are asking, how do I heal the past? This is how you heal the past. This is how you rewrite the past. New energy patterns, codes of alignments to your past. I think we need to talk about that. If you have questions about that, we can do it for a future video. If you need help with that, DM one of us, set up a call, reading, whatever. So next week we're going to talk about channeling. This also, my ear's going on with the absorption. We're going to talk about that.
No, I love that, because it's almost like it's the step further of like sending it up, because I was doing that for a long time, like, and here we go. But it's really when you bring that in and repattern it, and how it I say, when you say ripple, like I see it as the ripple back, but it's not a connection still with the person. It's more for you. It's you, of how you, now I can look at everything of the situation and have gratitude, sadness, happiness, laughter, like everything in it. And I can feel all of it, but it feels very different. It feels very different than 2 years ago.
And we use language, though there's no direction in this in human terms. Just wanted to state that. That was mine. You're going backwards, because I'm like, you go backwards, you go forward, you go sideways, you go all the way.
We're different. I'm like, this is just how I see it.
It is. Okay, because we're human. Like, this is where our brains work. So that's where it is. Of everything. So you guys, thanks for joining. Definitely have your friends click on. We do this on the page. We did it on YouTube too, because we never know with Facebook. So I download this. I put it on YouTube so you can watch it there. Tell your friends, if they don't have Facebook, hey, check out some of these videos. Maybe they'll help somebody. You guys have a fantastic
Love you guys.
Wednesday. We'll see you next week.
Bye.